Hello guys, welcome back to Dem's Montreal Beer Reviews. Continuing with the big beer season, this is the third beer I got for you, especially selected from the bunch of beers I have at home. So this one is a Scottish beer. It's an old ale matured in whisky casks, single malt whisky casks. It's from the Harviestoun brewery, which is in Scotland. It's 8% ABV, so it's good enough to be classified as a big beer, I guess, for the purposes of my reviews. It comes from a village, Hillforts village in Scotland. And I've had two beers from this brewery. I've had the Bitter and Twisted, interesting kind of hoppy blonde or golden ale. And then I had Old Engine Oil, which is exactly what this beer is, minus the whole aging. They have three different separate varieties of this beer. The one I have here is a Special Reserve 16, and they also have a 12 Reserve and an 18 Reserve. This bottle was on the pricier side of things, I guess. It was about $6 to $7 for a single 330ml bottle like that. I got it in Toronto almost a year ago, so it's been aging here. And also it was bottled in August 2010, so it's a 1.5-year-old beer. Let me just briefly read the description here. Ola Dubh ale, or black oil, is so named because it's gloopy and viscous. This limited release has been matured in casks from Orkney's award-winning Highland Park distillery to add complementary whiskey notes to what is already an amazing brew. It is chocolatey with a roasty, bittersweet aftertaste. And then they have whiskey notes for 12 Reserve, Special Reserve 12, 16 and 18. The 18 was also available at a time in the LCBO in Toronto, but it was way beyond what I could afford. I think it was somewhere near $20 for a single bottle, so I thought that's a bit too much. Might as well try something slightly light. So this was aged in casks that were previously used to age a 16-year-old single malt whiskey, so that's quite exciting. So yeah, without further ado, let's crack it open and see what this big beer is all about. Okay, so underneath the black foil is a sort of standard Harviestoun Brewery's cap. I'm going to be using my Unibrew kind of tulip glass. Oh, that is dark. But I think the Old Engine Oil was a little darker than this. This is more like dark brown. Looks like pretty much like an Imperial Stout, or maybe a Baltic Porter. Mocha coloured head, dark brown body, pretty much opaque, you can't see much through it. On the nose it's also reminiscent of Imperial Stout. Definitely getting a nice smoky character as well as a nice chocolate note. A bit of vanilla, quite a bit of dark fruit, which kind of distinguishes this from a stout. Yeah, smells delicious, so let's try the Ola Dubh. Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think the Old Engine Oil was a little lighter in terms of the body. This one is fairly thick. Yeah, I'd say it's medium to full body. Really smoky, as if it was actually a smoked porter or something. No trace of alcohol. Very chocolatey indeed. Roasty. Fairly sweet and also fairly creamy. I'm no expert in whiskey, but you know, I've tried whiskey a good amount of times. It's just I've never had a really expensive kind of single malt whiskey. But I'm getting that kind of peatiness people often describe when they have whiskey. Slight burn sensation at the back of the palate. Hint of tobacco, I guess. Well, as much as I can remember from the Old Engine Oil, it's been a couple of years since I had that. This one is a huge step above. Definitely a big flavoured beer. Really delicious and great sip of beer. Probably good when it's warmer right now. I'm not tasting any alcohol, but it's a nice dark kind of beer. Before I give you my final thoughts and conclusion, I just want to correct something. I went back on the LCBO website, the liquor stores in Toronto. It was not the 18th Reserve that I saw for like $20. It was the 40-year Reserve, which is the biggest brother of these beers. It's still 8%, but it's aged in those 40-year-old casks of single malt whiskey, so that's why it's so expensive. Right now they only sell the 12 Reserve, which I might try this year. It's a bit cheaper. But this bottle was $6 to $7, but I can say that this is really worth it, at least to try it once. And it's an interesting version of the Old Engine Oil, which was pretty good, but didn't impress me as much. The malt complexity is just beyond belief. It becomes even more complex as the beer warms up. Right now I'm tasting a bit of alcohol, but it's, you know, it's noticeable, it's manageable, but it also reminds me of whiskey, so that's, I guess, it's a good thing. If you're looking for whiskey flavors in a beer, this one is not going to disappoint you. You're getting chocolate, coffee, vanilla, prunes, dates. You also get a fairly nice level of caramel, toffee, more whiskey kind of notes, peatiness, that earthy hop flavor, very subdued, but it's still there. Excellent beer to savor, excellent beer to sip on. If you don't like smoky beers, you might want to stay away from it because it's fairly intense, the smokiness, and you get a bit of that burnt tobacco taste at the back, as I've said. But all in all, this is one of the most interesting Scottish beers I've had. So the grade, I'm going to give this a solid, very solid 9 out of 10 for Ola Dubh, the Special Reserve 16. This is a really big beer in terms of flavour, and that it comes in the small bottle. Really enjoyed this one. I'm going to enjoy the rest of it soon. Much better than Old Engine Oil. So yeah, I'm guessing that that's all I have to say for this time, guys. Stick to good beer as usual. See you in the next review with another big beer. Stick to good beer. Cheers.